All right, so about 2 years ago, I started asking God to give me His desires so that my desires wouldn't just be my desires, but they would be His desires. And so one of the desires that He put in my heart was to be able to not only take care of my family, but be able to take care of another family. And so for about 2 years straight, that's what I prayed for. I asked God, I said, God, please put us in a position to be able to take care of a family as well as our family. Not to be rich or not to have things above and beyond, but to be able to take care of a couple of different families. So about 6 months ago, I called a friend of mine I hadn't talked to in a while, and we were talking on the phone for a couple minutes, and he put me on hold, and then he got back on the phone and he said, man, what would you say if I told you me and my wife bought y'all a house? And we kind of laughed for a little bit when we got off the phone. About 3 weeks later, he called back and he said, man, I got the key, come get this house. Sure enough, it was a house. Not only was it a house, but it put us in a position to be able to take the home that we were living in, fix it up and put it up for rent. And at first it was an overwhelming deal. We couldn't figure out why someone would do something like that, but after talking to my brother, he brought it back to my mind. He said, man, think about all that you and Ebony and your family have given. You pay your tithes, you pay them consistently. When you have money, when you don't have money, you still stay devoted to paying your tithes. Not only paying your tithes, but actually doing other things in the community for other people. And when you become a selfless individual and you're willing to do what God asks you to do financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, He don't have any choice but to bless you, because that's what He wants to do. So what God ended up doing as far as answering that prayer that I feel was the heartbeat of Him and the desire of His heart was He took us from a 3-bedroom house, 2-bath in Van Buren, and moved us to Fort Smith in a 5-bedroom house, swimming pool, 2-bath, tree house, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't think that was what I asked for, but God has a way of giving you exactly what you need, because now when kids are in trouble in the mentoring program, they can come and they can live with us, and we're not cramped for space. They can be there. And so if we're willing to tie in to the desires of God's heart and His pleasures, He'll do the rest, and he'll be sure and put you in the greatest position ever. So we're blessed. I want to read something to you real quick. Ties into what has happened in our lives. It's Matthew chapter 7 verse 9. It says, which of you, if your sons ask for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask Him? Listen, I don't know much, but I do know this. I know that we serve a God that loves to give to His children. We're a prime example of that. There is no way just 7 months ago that I knew God would do what He has done in our lives, but I do know that we have been obedient in our lives as far as giving and serving our community and just being selfless individuals. Just imagine what God would be willing to do in your life if you was willing to submit to and be obedient to just giving. And when I say giving, I mean giving 100% of our lives to the one who gave first.